Okay, now, so we're going to go take this cube and I'm going to move it back into that position where the window is going to be. Okay, so if you look here, I'm just going to move it out and have it stick out a couple inches from the back of the wall, about that much. So it gives the window a little bit of thickness. Okay. Okay, so let's go in here and deselect that. Okay, come on. And I'm going to select the room first. Okay, select the room first, and then I'm going to shift select. Oh, I can see I'm selecting part of the room still. So I select the room first, shift select that Boolean window tool that I just made, and then I'm going to go to Mesh, Boolean, Difference. Now you can see this didn't work. Okay? Oh, it worked on this side, but that's not the side that we want it to work on. Basically what it did is it did the Boolean kind of opposite that I wanted to do. So I'm going to undo that. And the reason why that didn't work, I'll show you. I'm going to select the room and I'm going to go to Display, Polygons, and Face Normals. Alright, so the reason we started, remember I started with a cube, and all the faces in Maya, all of your geometry, the faces which makes up your objects, face one way or the other. No matter if I did opposite when I did the display thing earlier. So all my faces are pointing out this way, but in reality they need to be facing inward. Even though I have double-sided on, Maya only faces the face normals in one direction. So in order for that Boolean to work the way I want to, I have my face normals facing out. I'm going to go to Polygon Normals, and I'm going to go to Reverse. So what that did, well, it turned off my double-sided opposite. So if I were to go to this and I undo my opposite, now everything is facing in the right direction. All the walls are facing inward to the inside where we want them to be. So I'm going to turn those face normals off, toggle them off, and now if I were to go do that Boolean again, I select the room first. Let's turn that off. Select the Boolean tool, the Boolean shape here, Mesh, Boolean, come on, Difference. And there we go. Now we have our windows made in a kind of a nice little fashion. These little middle parts are a little thick. I didn't really spend a lot of time. We could probably adjust those later. Also, you'll notice that there's a little backing here, so I want to select. Now this has become part of the geometry. So now if I were to select this, go to Face, and I shift select those four faces, delete them, go from the inside, and there we go. We've got a nice little window here. Now I want to adjust those shapes a little bit. I'm going to right marking menu, vertex, and let's just select these vertices here, make them a little smaller. Let's do this side a little bit. And let's just do these horizontal ones a little bit down, a little bit that way, and we've got ourselves a window. Go back to object mode. Let's look at this, double-sided, so we can see through it. And I have a nice little door with a window here. Alrighty, I'm going to just do one more thing. I'm going to add a table just for the heck of it, to show you a little bit more of some extruding and some techniques, modeling techniques. I'm going to make another cube. I'm going to make this into a table. I'm going to bring it out because I'm going to be that room is going to be getting in the way, and I'm going to scale this to be basically a table, like so. Let's make it about that big. If I have the object selected and press the F key, it's going to focus or zoom in to that object that I have there. If I were to press A, it's the A key is going to just frame all into the window here, into my view window. So I'm going to press F so I can get in a little closer, make this a little thinner. Now with this object selected, I'm going to do a little bit of detailing on this, and I want to bevel this. Where is that bevel tool? There it is. It's in Edit Mesh, Bevel. And I'm just going to do it and see what happens. Okay, so that's a pretty good bevel that happened. That just happened to be what the setting was. I'm going to undo that and show you again how you can change that bevel. If I go to Bevel Option Box, there's the width of the bevel here, and it's about 0.3. Let's just make it a little bigger and see what happens. You can see if I made that bevel a little larger, it widened the edge here, which is not quite what I want. So I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to Edit Mesh, go to Bevel again, Option Box, and I'm going to bring that back down to about 0.3. Oh, look at that. With just one segment, and then I beveled it. So what this does is that gave that cube, it just softened that edge. Now if I were to have this selected and press 3, which is a smooth view view indication, that's what it would look like if I were to do a smooth on it. But I'm gonna just keep it unsmooth right now, and because I like working with this sort of that bevel tool, that bevel look. That gives it a little realism. It takes away that sharp artificial look that Maya models tend to have. So bevel's a really good tool. Now what I'm going to do is let's move it up. Oops. Let's move this up a little bit, and I'm going to go into the poly cube, into my channel box, into my construction history here. I'm going to select the polycube, and I'm going to make the subdivision width. Let's see if this works. 4. Yes, that's what I wanted. And the subdivision depth for, let's make that 6. That's about right. And I don't need to do the subdivision height. So I've just basically subdivided a width of 4 and a height of 6. And so that's basically that's just kind of dividing up my geometry. Now if I were to do a smooth and look at it, it's going to be, you can see what would happen if I did a smooth right now. It's going to look kind of nice, not too bad. And I'm going to undo that smooth, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add legs to the table here. So I'm going to go underneath it. I'm looking underneath my table here. I'm going to marking menu, go to face, and I'm going to select and then shift select the 4 corners of my table here. And then I'm going to do a edit mesh extrude. And then I'm going to get this, I'm going to get my little tool here, and I'm going to just scale them down a little bit there, a little bit on the red one, which is the x-axis, and a little bit on the y-axis. So it's just making a little bit of a, it's just kind of bringing them down a little bit. Now I'm going to press the G key, and I did another, what I did was another extrude. I'm going to bring it out, down just a little bit. Did you see that? I'm just bringing it down just a hair. I'm going to press the G key again. That does another extrude. And I'm going to scale that next extrude down. Oops. And hold on. And it's doing all 4 of those extrudes at the same time. That's why I want to keep that interactive little tool there. And I'm gonna put them down to about there, to table leg size. Okay, good. Now let's have a little fun here. See where we can see it. Oops, that's about good. That's good. I'm going to do an extrude again, and I'm going to bring it down. So I'm bringing the legs down about halfway. And I'm going to do another extrude. Press G. I'm going to bring it down, and then I'm going to scale them out a little bit. G, another extrude. Bring it down. G, another extrude. Oops. I'm going to pull that down, and then I'm going to scale them in a little bit. So I'm making a little, I'm making some ornamentation on the legs. G, one more time, extrude. Just like that. And then a G extrude. And let's bring it down a little bit. And I'm making little legs on a table. So that's one of those real heavy duty looking medieval looking coffee tables that we've got going on here, or dining room tables. And now if I go and I go object mode, deselect the extrude tool, select my table, I'm going to bring it over into the room here, and let's just see how it fits into the room. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's just see if we were to scale it up or down. Let's scale it up, bring it down to the floor there, and now we have a table inside a room using some very basic Maya modeling techniques. I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will have more of these later. Thank you.